Let's get busy.
Live from the Shooting from the Lip studio in Louisville, Kentucky, it's time for Shooting Stars with your hosts Kevin Hale and Greg Unthank.
What is up, people in the Louisville, Kentucky area and the surrounding areas? I can't even do an intro right. Actually, I've had a few drinks and a few shots, which I'm under the understanding that my wonderful co-host has done the same during his rehearsal night. Greg Unthank is my partner in crime on Wednesday nights. Greg, what's up?
Hey, buddy. Looking forward to tonight. My dad's going to be on tonight.
Your
Did you know
dad?
Yeah.
Like Mr. Unthank?
My drummer dad.
Oh, okay.
We have an ongoing thing. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good. Tonight, see, you had rehearsals tonight, Spare Change Millionaires, because you got a gig this coming weekend, Tulane, Saturday night, which is guaranteed to have a very good, rowdy crowd there, just the way it is.
Yeah. It's a fun time.
Fun time.
Bring it on, people. Bring it on. Saturday night, 9 o'clock-ish. We'll be rolling in the Amtrak rock and roll train. We'll be starting at about 9 o'clock, 9:30ish, something like that, and we'll be rocking your faces off and throwing the rock and roll grease all over you. So bring it on.
Rock and roll grease. You know, you're stealing a line from one of our other guys. Grease. Now tonight, just give a quick shout out too. I was at the county line for a benefit tonight, which involved, the benefit was called Benefit for Blake. It was something that Jake Badger of Wildwood put together. Josie Gomez, Dustin Collins, and Wildwood they performed at the benefit. But once again, when I get to go to these benefits, Jake was on our Monday night show promoting it, and once again, I'm reminded how much the music community, you guys, people do step up for to do these benefits, give their time. Again, I pat you guys on the back. These guys were playing 30, 45 minutes or an hour, tonight. But it's not just that. There's a lot of time and effort that they do put into not only getting these benefits together, but to before and after. And the music community here really gets it, because a lot of you guys, Greg, and you're in that equation because you've been doing it for so long. You're around talented musicians. A lot of you guys get it where you are in a position to make a difference for a lot of people. And that's, tonight was a very small type of benefit compared to like Kev Fest, which you were a part of. I got to be, we were doing, and that was huge. But nonetheless, whether it's, a benefit that raises a few dollars or, thousands of dollars, you guys, your intentions are good. And so, again, I that's kudos to you guys. I mean, and I say that, you're part of that, the Louisville, music community. And, so it's a good thing. I love, and I love our, and I love that our show, our Wednesday night show, even my Monday show, anytime we can do our part to promote, we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. And and whether our show is that, one star in the sky out of all those stars that make that night happen, that works for me. I'll feel good about that. So, let me, let's see. We were together Sunday. We got to do a radio spot for the show at Gavin
Yeah.
Castor's Sunday radio show on what is it? I'm saying this wrong.
CHQ.
CHQ, right.
CHQ.
Crescent Hill,
Yep. Yep.
CHQ Crescent Hill. So it was cool. We got to hang out, promote our Wednesday night show. I got to promote a little bit of the Monday, Friday shows. But yeah, I thought it was cool to kind of get our name out there. And that's one thing I am slowly but surely seeing is that when we do show up at these gigs, or like tonight when I went out there, I mean they see me as they recognize me as Kevin from that podcast, and I get the thank yous for for letting people come on and promote, but that's at the end of the day, again, I'm totally okay with knowing that our show can help the cause. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a conversation. I've been going to a place doing exercise classes called Body Evolution, and the guy who runs the place, really cool fella. We were talking actually on the phone today, and he was telling me that they even have sponsored some events. We didn't get in depth with exactly what they do, but they have put on some events that help children who have had some issues, cancer or whatever the issues that would be. And I extended the hand out and told him, anytime you do something like that, let me know. We'll have you on and you could talk about it. Anything to help. So it's just not restricted to bands or anything. Any kind of event like that, we'd love to promote it on either show. So anybody out there listening, you can spread that word, and we're a resource.
Yeah, it's this the at the end of the day, if we can spread some good karma, I think that's a good thing. To help anybody with anything is. So, all right, let me plug our show as we're been plugging other things. You can find our show on YouTube and iTunes. Subscribe to our show there, Shooting from the Lip. We are also on the SoundCloud and Stitcher apps. You can like us, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Shooting from the Lip. Twitter at The Shooting Lip. My Twitter at Kevin Hale 423. Greg's is at Greg_Unthank. Live tonight via Blog Talk Radio. Again, we do a Monday and Friday show. Quick plug for our Monday show, Greg. Tonight, as we do Shooting from the Lip, this Shooting from the Lip podcast, this is the 198th Shooting from the Lip episode. So Friday night with Tiffany Mac will be 199, and come Monday will be show number 200, episode 200, where I'll have you, Tiffany, and Russ, who's my normal co-host on Monday nights, all on. We've got a jam-packed show full of guests. I'll be promoting that later. But, as the, Shooting from the Lip is my baby, as a producer of this show, I'm happy to say that right now I'm doing 3 to 4 shows a week, but I found my niche with these shows. Monday is any and everything. Wednesday is dedicated to the local music scene. Of course, Friday with Tiffany Mac is the paranormal theme show. And it's a little bit of everything, but it's been a fun ride so far. So I'm glad you're a part of it, buddy.
Well, I'm glad to be part of it. I never thought I'd be doing. I've had 4. I've had 4 of some watered down. That was the joke of the night. Watered down Jim Beam. So,
how watered down did you go?
I don't think it was that watered down, but that was the joke of the night.
All right.
He was a particular guy in the band was blaming one of his siblings that they had a party over the weekend. and drank some of his booze and added some water to it so they wouldn't notice. So,
well, check this out.
To see.
Let's get the official word from Dad. Dad, Brad.
Okay.
What would you say about what would you say about your son drinking watered down bourbon?
Man, he was drinking it from the nipple.
What is up, Brad?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
Doing great, man.
Yeah, Brad.
How you doing? How you doing there, son?
Son.
Dad, I'm fine. I'm really good.
Now,
why don't you tell the story of how you became dad and I became son?
Well, I'd go out to clubs and my son would be playing in there, and I didn't want to pay cover charge, so I just kind of pointed out to the doorman that that's my son back there playing drums, and they turn around and look, and he says, "I can see that," and they let me in.
Well, actually, let me give some detail to that story. He would say, "That's my son back there playing drums," and then the doorman would look at Brad, and he would stick out his belly, and he would say, "Look, see?" And then he would say, "Oh yeah, okay, come on in."
Oh my God!
I see the resemblance now.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
So, Brad, give us the quick bio. Where have you been to where you are now? We know it sounds like you were born in a manger, but from that point on, tell us about the Brad story.
Well, I grew up here, Valley Station, Pleasure Ridge Park, and got a scholarship, went to college as a music major at Eastern Kentucky. I guess my first claim to fame was playing with Bob Hope when I was 18.
For real? No way.
Huh?
Yeah. Bob Hope?
Yeah.
Good. Your first claim to fame. Well, hold on, Brad. Anybody that says that's their first claim to fame, I want to hear. Eventually, I want to hear your second.
Well, maybe that was the last claim to fame, but no, that happened early on. I was 18. I actually put the orchestra together, and and after that, I moved to New York and Chicago, played in a bunch of bands, and it's when I came back to Louisville, I came back to get a gig at LG&E or some job like that, and got back here, and 3 days after I was here, I got a house gig playing again. And so pretty much that's all I've ever done.
Oh.
Played music and taught and things like that.
Kevin, I want to step in here and say, when I was first getting started playing, I first met Brad. He worked at Far Out Music, which is a music store out in Indiana, Jeffersonville, I think it would be. And, he's one of those cats that I've seen. He sat down behind the drums and he started playing. And I was like, oh my God, I'll never ever be as good as that guy right there. And
Please.
A huge inspiration. And I mean, the things that he did, and I even think that there's things that I mean, he's taught me things, and I think I play certain things like him because of him. And he's just one of those guys that's your number one influence is growing up when you're playing, man. And that's another reason I call him Dad too. But I'm not the only guy around town who thinks that either. I mean, he has influenced a ton of drummers around town. He's like the call guy. He's always been the call guy for sit-ins and for bands. And he's just always the top of the list as far as all musicians are concerned. And it's great to have him on, man, and for me to be able to tell everybody that, because, again, I'm not the only one that thinks that. You can line up all the drummers in town that's been doing it, and his name will be, top of the list when you ask him who's your big influence around town.
I've heard his name mentioned lots of times.
I'm embarrassed.
Are you now?
That's
really?
All right.
Really?
Not really, man. It's just Greg's just being honest, man.
And he's just being, hey, that's, and honesty is one option for this show. So if you don't want to go the honest route, you can go there too. But Brad, I've heard your name, and well, actually, Greg, you call him Dad. He's about our age, right? He's not.
No, I'm 61, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought that. Wow.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm 61.
All right.
So I am old enough to be Greg's dad.
No,
I just
well.
turned 50 last week.
You're not. Yeah, I don't know. That would probably be wrong on several levels if you were old enough to be his dad. But Brad, you know, when it comes to the local music scene, what's gigs or bands who have you been associated with?
Oh golly, man.
Well, for the most part, yeah. During some extended gigs. Yeah.
It'd be easier to say who he hasn't been involved with.
Who he has? Okay, all right.
I would say really the thing that I would mention is the players that I've played with, because
right.
Like say Old School. I'm not a member of Old School, but played with all those guys. Bob Ramsey, Rob Johnson, rest his soul. Just a lot of the. I've been blessed to have played with some of the finest musicians ever in Louisville, and we all kind of go in and out of bands together, and B.G. Johnson, and cats like that. And I would say, really, I hang my hat on the cats that I play with, other than the bands. I play with Robbie Bartlett quite a bit now. Great singer. I play with the Uptown Band. Just different things. Just have a good time and no stress. I don't deal with stress in the band situations anymore.
And now, Greg, he can add to his resume. He's been on the coolest podcast ever. How about that?
That's right, man. Yeah. Now let me ask you something. Is crude language okay on here?
It's internet radio. So yeah, those 7 FCC words that you can't say on regular radio, you can say them here.
Well, I have a model. I have a motto for your show that you might want to use, because it's shooting from the lip. If I want any lip off of you, I'll scrape it off my zipper. What do you think? Huh? That's pretty good, isn't it?
I like that.
That could be the back of the T-shirt. That could be the back of the T-shirt.
Hashtag scrape off zipper. Hashtag scrape off zipper. I think we're on to something. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yes. Sweet. Yeah. I got to throw that in. Yeah, that, I have to keep it in a hetero sense. I don't want, anybody to mistake where I'm
going. That he asked if he could say something like that. Usually that doesn't matter.
Usually, right. It does.
For him, it don't matter.
So,
where are you, Kevin? Where are you from?
Louisville, all my life. Louisville, 49 years. I graduated in 85 from Manual. Greg was a year before me. Mr. Number 67. I remember that football player in Jersey very well. Also remember back in the elementary days, which I digress. There's always that story comes up.
So Greg played football?
Greg played football. Yeah, and he sang in a Kiss cover band too back in the day. Did you know that, Brad?
He don't know that.
Brad, don't let me tell this story. Actually, Greg, if I tell this story tonight, it might be the 100th time I tell this story.
I've got to hear it.
Well, check this out, Brad. I have to. This is Greg. I know, Greg. Just tune me out for the next 60 seconds. But in elementary school, I was in. Go pee, Greg. Yeah, empty your bladder. I was in 5th grade in my elementary school, Brad, and during the school day on the local tax dollar, we were ushered into the auditorium. I still remember this, 5th grade. During the school day, ushered into the auditorium, and we got to watch Greg and his his buddies they were a Kiss cover band. They were singing Kiss songs during the school day. Greg had a cardboard guitar, playing air guitar, and
Flying V. It was a Flying V, by the way.
Flying, oh, exactly. And I remember him singing. This is 5th grade. It made a huge impression when I saw my hero at that point. I realized that I didn't realize it then, but I knew later in life that he was my hero. To hear him singing "They Call Me Dr. Love" in 5th grade, I was
wow. Well, when I first met my son, he was in a Culture Club tribute band. He was the lead singer. And
did he really want to hurt you?
No, exactly. He did a rousing rendition of "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me?" And he had the whole look thing going on.
I like Carmen Camellia better.
Carmen. Yeah. Greg, back in the day when you sang Culture Club, would you come and go? You come and go.
Greg will never have me on the show again, man. I'm so embarrassed.
So this is good radio to me. Great soundbite.
You know what? I busted up that cardboard guitar and I threw it out in the crowd, and there was all kinds of chicks diving for that guitar.
Exactly. Actually,
why weren't they diving for you, son?
That's exactly. I don't know, man, and it's never worked since.
Well, elementary kid, the truth is, elementary kids really didn't know, what being a groupie at that point would have been like. So, that's, to them, the guitar was the thing. They didn't realize that later, just a few more years down the road, they'd be all over the band and be a groupie.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you rock and roll guys, I'm sure there's some groupie stories that could be told.
Yeah, but enough about me. We were talking about Brad. Not only is Brad an awesome drummer musician, he's been a drum rep, a sales rep for a number of years, and
20.
He's got
20
years, and he's got to meet several famous people and sell to them, and he knows them well, and that's got to be like the coolest job in the world. I would probably say. Do you have any cool stories, man? I seen you at a Van Halen concert, and you said that you were there and you were making sure that Alex didn't break any cymbals, and you were at the ready to like give him a cymbal or whatever when he needed. What was going on with that, man? Can you tell us what you did with that?
Well, buddy, to tell you the truth, I've met a lot of famous drummers and stuff like that, and most of them are great guys and stuff, but honestly, I just as soon hang with you or, cats around town and stuff like that. But yeah, I've met quite a few of them. I remember, the Kiss thing. You were a Kiss fan. Golly, back in the 80s when drum triggering first started happening, Ted Nugent rehearsed over at Far Out. And for this concert, he was back in Kiss on tour, and nobody knew anything about drum triggering back then, and I did. So they hired me to be on the stage to manage the drum triggering and stuff. And it was kind of funny because Ted Nugent was real athletic back then, and he would Kiss had this circular stage that, went up and then back down with steps and all that kind of stuff. And, Ted would run these stairs 4 steps at a time and run around it. And, Gene Simmons, man, he was wearing a girdle. You know, and Gene Simmons told Ted Nugent at the rehearsal, he said, "Look, man, if you can use our stage, but you have to take one step at a time." I thought that was pretty humorous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of shit. You know, that's just the kind of shit you see from a lot of the guys. But the one thing I've kind of learned is the guys who really deserve to be where they are. They're some pretty humble, nice cats. It's
Exactly.
the guys like I'm not going to mention any names, but the guys who are lucky to be where they are,
Yeah.
who are the insecure assholes.
Right.
That's just been my experience.
You know, and
Whoa! What did you call me, Brad? What did you call me? An insecure what?
I called you my mama.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we've talked about that on this show before. I've had, you know, people that that are, like Greg Forsman has told me, the coolest people, the most famous people are the coolest people, the ones that are humble and they, they deserve to be there, and they're humble to be there, and they're nice to people, and that's why they're there. Is because they are humble. It's because they're nice.
Not only that, they put in the work to be as good as they are, and I think the instrument makes you humble. It's like Carl Palmer, man. And I had him in for a clinic, and it's just like, jeez, what a jerk. I was just saying,
Really?
Yeah.
So, man.
Huh?
Check this out.
What do you got?
Oh, Greg.
Okay, go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm going to ask a question that I've been wanting to ask you, Greg, for several episodes, but for whatever reason, we get off tangent. But tonight is a good opportunity to ask it because I'm dealing with two drummers with egos out of this world. Yes, Greg, don't even try to humor me and say you don't have one, but it's okay. You should. I'm gonna start with Greg first. I'm gonna start with Greg first, and then Brad's. Actually, let's do this. I'm gonna go back and forth. We'll start with Greg. I want you guys to name me the top 3 rock and roll drummers. In national.
Opinion, man.
Well, of course. Well, that's what I'm getting at. I want your personal opinion. So, Greg, number 3.
Man, that's like an impossible question. I can tell you my favorites.
Let's start at number 1.
Well, what was that, Brad? What was that?
I can't.
Let's start at number 1.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. All right, it doesn't have to be 3 to 1 or 1 to 3. Just we'll go back and forth. I want to know 3 names that you recognize as 3 of your favorite drummers. Greg, give me one name.
Oh, okay. One of my favorite is David Garibaldi. Never ever heard of him?
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of him. Who is that, Greg?
Never heard of him.
Tower of Power.
Never.
Tower of Power. You ever heard of them?
I have heard of that. Yeah, or them. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, all right.
He's the funk meister. He's dirty, greasy, funky. Man.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Brad, give me one.
John Bonham.
There you go.
There you go.
I think he's, to me, the greatest rock drummer that ever lived. That's just my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll challenge you on that one, but anyways, Greg,
you're not going to say Neil Peart, are you?
I'm going to. That's my favorite.
Say Neil Peart.
Yeah, it's my all-time favorite band. But anyway, Greg, give me one. Give me another one.
One of a favorite of mine. His style has always been a big influence of mine. Is Joey Kramer.
Oh.
He plays for Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha. All right, Brad, give me a second one.
Vinnie Colaiuta.
Wait a minute. That's not who is he with? Or who?
Everybody. He played with Zappa, and
yeah.
played with Sting, and the guy plays with anybody. Really, he's
been doing a lot of Jeff Beck stuff in the past few years.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy, and he's a guy I got to hang out with for about a week a couple years ago at the NAMM show, and he's one of those guys that, as amazing as he is, he's just like so humble, just a sweet dude,
Brad, did you ever meet Jeff Porcaro?
I did.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, he's another one, man. Yeah, a place he used to hit the NAMM shows would have like a sound booth, and one year in the NAMM booth, there's only 40 people in the booth. They give you tickets, and the Porcaro brothers played in the booth one year, and the Tubes played in there one year, and it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Actually, go on.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Well, it was interesting because at that time, Fee Waybill hadn't played with the Tubes in 4 years, and the lead singer that had come from Chicago at that time was singing with the band. And when we were in there watching the Tubes play, Fee walks into the booth and comes up and sings with them. They're just like, wow. And he joined the band after that, man. It was awesome.
Wow.
Oh, really? So this was, he did it before Tubes, the Tube.
He was the original singer for the Tubes, and he hadn't been with them for 4 years. And they were playing at the NAMM booth, and he just was at the NAMM show and walked in the booth, came up and sat in. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Porcaro, Toto, they're one of my guilty pleasures. There's, to me, musician-wise, from Porcaro, Lukather, Page, great musicians. Steve Lukather is one of my all-time favorite guitar players. I'm digressing here. All right, let's see. Who is it? Greg, Greg, your last drummer.
Well, I mean, he already said John Bonham, so, that would, yeah.
All right. What about you, Brad? Close it out.
I would say one of my biggest influences early on was Bobby Colomby.
Oh,
well, he's got me on that, man.
That's Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yeah. Oh, I know something Greg doesn't know. Wow.
Yeah, did you know that?
I didn't know that. I knew that.
I did not know that.
Well. All right, cool. So we know you're teaching these days, Brad. What?
I teach a little. I only have a couple students a week anymore, I don't teach kids anymore,
Is
I can still remember the things that taught me.
Yeah.
What Brad, what's your take on the local music scene these days?
Well,
straight shoot.
Well, when I was coming up and stuff, it's like, when I was in high school, I played 6 nights a week. And I don't think anybody can really make a living doing it anymore. And as a result, you don't have bands that play 6 nights a week anymore. I think with that in mind, we've got a lot of great bands around town, but I don't think that we have bands like we did 30 years ago. It's like, I can remember playing 6 nights a week, and you come in on a Monday night and be like, oh, geez, man, I'm going to be rusty tonight. And, now if you play 3 nights a week, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very lucky, because there's nowhere out there that you can go out and play. There's no one playing bands Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Exactly.
No Thursday night.
I can't make the money playing now that I did when I was in high school. Frankly.
That's right.
Yeah. Well.
Plus, you got to be responsible for bringing the crowd now too, huh?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. Now, one thing about me and my son, is my son and I, we bring in the women, because we'll put that shit out on Facebook that we're playing somewhere, and all the chicks come out and see us and stuff. But a lot of musicians don't have that luxury. Yeah,
I know.
That's right.
So a lot of musicians are already at a disadvantage because they can't compete to Brad and Son for the chicks.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's how we get. And that's how we get gigs a lot of times, just so they can get the chicks out.
Exactly. Very good example.
Yeah. Thanks for following my lead, son.
They'll say, "Get dude out. We'll just Greg or Brad to play because they bring the chick."
Exactly. Love it. All right, Brad, check this out. We do a segment on our show called
It's in the jeans.
It's in the jeans. Yeah, Jeans. Blue
That's
jeans.
right. Yeah, right between the pockets, baby.
In between the pockets. You pull out those rabbit ears, and that's Pet the Bunny, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. That's one of my favorite tricks to play on Easter.
Pet the Bunny. All right, Brad, check us out. We do this little segment at the end of our with the guest called Round of Shots. It's 6 questions. It's like a quick Q&A. Just have some fun with it. You'll enjoy it.
Okay.
First question. What was the first concert you attended?
Three Dog Night.
Ooh, wow. Question 2. What cartoon or comic book character do you resemble the most?
Elmer Fudd. I'm having to guess I'm having to be quick on my feet here, my God.
Love it. When you're playing at a gig or something, what would be a Brad pet peeve?
A Brad what?
Pet peeve.
What was
something that just would, pet peeve, drive you crazy during a gig?
Oh, like say if there was nobody on the dance floor or 3 people in the club, somebody turning around telling me, "Hey man, start the next song." That pisses me off.
Gotcha. Number 4, if you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Wiener Schnitzel.
Why? Why is that your answer?
I just love it, man. Just being honest, man, I love it. Yeah, there's nothing.
Great. All right, Brad. Question 5. Do you have a smartphone? Obviously, I'm guessing you do.
I do.
All right. What's your favorite
Smarter
phone?
Than me.
Smarter than most of us.
Jeez. I guess Facebook.
Not Grinder, right?
No. I don't even know what that is.
All right, that's a good thing you don't know what it is. Actually, I'm embarrassed to know what it is, but that's another story.
What is it?
It's I know this because I just know it, not because I've used it. It's a.
It sounds like you're very intimate with it. But what?
No, I'm not. I know of it. It's a app that non-hetero people use. Put it that way. I use Tinder. Those people would use Grindr.
Son, do you use Grindr?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, good thing.
Never heard of it. Nor do I have any
interest. Or never want to hear of it. All right, with that, Brad, what is your favorite phone app?
I'm not judging you, though, Kevin, because you do know about it.
I know of it. I know a little about a lot of things. Okay. Anyways, Brad, what is your favorite phone app?
You're talking to Greg, right?
No, he was saying Brad. I think he said Facebook.
Yeah.
No. Oh, he said. Oh, you did say. Okay. All right. Facebook. All right. Last question. If you had access to a time machine and could go anywhere in the past, your living past, or if you wanted to go back to the dinosaurs, where would you go?
I would say New York City in the 20s.
Ah, that's a cool answer. And why?
You know, man, it was like the heyday of jazz back then. You know.
Big band era.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's something I wish I could play, man. I don't have the first clue about how to do something like that.
But you know what, Greg? The whole thing about it is, you know, when I went to college and I was a music major, it was kind of like the big band stuff and all that was like a mystery to me. And you know, you try to focus on the you know, the little segues and you know, the things that led up to the kicks and all that. But in reality, man, it was dance music. The bottom line is you just made them dance. And, you know, you just do that, ding, dang, ding, dang, make them dance and all the other shit. You kind of got that later on.
You know,
anyway.
I asked McAllister about, you know, how do you learn to play, you know, the jazz stuff, that type of, I don't know what you call it, bebop or whatever. And he says that, you know what, you kind of have to play the opposite of what I'm teaching you. You know, like rock and roll. It's kind of like you play things the opposite. Everything's done differently, which I really didn't understand what he was talking about. But I kind of do understand what he was talking about now at this point. But anyway.
Well, the 2 and 4 was on the hi-hat. You know, every genre of music has one thing that is the timekeeper. And, you know, the big band, it was bass drum, man, quarter notes, feather in the bass drum, and 2 and 4 on the hi-hat. And then the right hand and left hand improvise, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas in rock, the right foot improvises and right hand improvises. It's a different deal.
Yeah. But it's all right.
Very cool. Brad came on and killed it. Had a good time. Tell us? You say you're active. You like Facebook, but what else social media do you use to promote yourself and your good looks and how all the chicks can, you know, interact with you?
Well, Facebook, man, that's all I need. I don't need all those other apps, by God. One thing that gets my shit out there. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Kevin always gives my my address to what is it, Kevin? My
Twitter, which Twitter. You never use. I say Twitter, but you never use it.
Never on it. I never use it. You know my address better than I do.
I use Twatter. Twatter is
Twatter.
Yeah, Twatter's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good app. That's a good.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
What do you mean? What are you talking?
What did you say?
Twat dirty to me.
Yeah.
Actually, speak twat dirty to me. Brett Michaels is in town this week. Did you know that?
Me and Greg are gonna have a date. We're going there. We're gonna go do that.
The Thursday night, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's Thursday night.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll be there
Brad, Brad, do you have any gigs coming up? If I wanted to, you know, go hang out with you one night, where would you be?
I thought I had one this Saturday night, but they got the date wrong. I play with Robbie Bartlett this month at the end of the month.
Oh, okay, cool.
Uptown band. I play with her, you know, 3 or 4 nights a month down at Jeff Ruby's, and mostly just, you know, I take some gigs that my son doesn't want to do. You know, he'll throw some a little bit of things my way and things like that.
Cool.
Very
cool. Son, you get that? You ain't thrown nothing my way in a while.
I know it, man. I've been pretty lucky so far. I've been able to hold
Take all
on to
those
everything.
gigs. Yeah.
I've been able to.
We'll be at Tulane Saturday night, right, Greg?
Yeah, Tulane in it.
Greg, you'll be there Saturday night?
Yeah, man.
Are we playing?
With the Spare Change Millionaires band playing.
Oh, well, I might be watching a winning football team Saturday night, but maybe I could come out.
What time's that come on?
Yeah.
That's at 8, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to be a great game. Great game.
It's going to be a great game, but I don't see anybody beating Louisville this year.
That's a good statement, and we're Kentucky fans, and Greg and I know we're Kentucky fans, and I have to admit,
that's why I said that. That's why I said that.
I'm so impressed.
Kind of kidding.
Yeah, but I am so impressed with Louisville this year. I'm rooting for them. I really am, because they legitimately have a shot at the national title, and they legitimately have the Heisman Trophy winner, and that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. No way around it. That's cool. I actually wish them well. So yeah. Anyways, Brad, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You've been a good
brother.
Soldier.
Thank you guys, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, good to meet you, buddy, and we'll hang out soon.
If I said anything appropriate, please bleep it out. Inappropriate.
Yeah, I'll go back and edit all the good, nice things you said and keep in all
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I got you covered.
And go on and feel free to use that scrape it off the zipper thing. I think you'd like that.
That's a keeper. That is a keeper. That's a keeper.
Man,
all right, buddy.
That's the back of the T-shirts on the next print.
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
Back of the T-shirts, man. That's it.
All right, guys.
Brad,
thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
All right,
Thanks,
buddy.
Brad.
Okay.
Take care. Good segment there, G Money, Greg Unthank.
Oh yeah.
Your dad So you guys, how far back you guys go back?
Oh man, I was in high school when I met Brad.
Okay.
So
yeah,
30-something years.
Well, yeah. Well, let's keep the party going. Bring on a buddy of mine. You know him as well, Greg White, local guitarist. He is currently mixing it up with Josh Bogart and the Dirty South. Greg, what's up, man? Greg White.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Hey. It's good to finally talk to Greg Unthank. I've heard the name Greg Unthank for 20 years.
20?
Uh-oh.
Is this really the first time you all had? Is this the first time you all
I've never
really?
met him, and I know all kinds of people that know him, and
yeah. I've heard those stories too. Yeah. Well, that's one of the. Yeah. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. That's
I was a little jealous when you called him. I was a little jealous when you called him G Money, because I was like, wait a second.
I know.
For some people.
That's I know. Yeah.
I think you're kind of limited to your nicknames when your name is Greg. It's like
Greg.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
man.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start because of the fact he's a drummer. I think maybe Groove G or Groovy G, something like that, may be better for Greg, I think. But yeah, Greg White, welcome to the show. You've been on a few times on my Monday show. I think this is the first time on the Wednesday show with us. But
I thought it was always. I didn't even know you did Monday, so I think it was Wednesday.
Well, no, we did the Mondays because of the county line. I think that's why you were on when we were doing the county line segment. So
yeah, I heard him on that show as well. I heard that show with him on there with the county line. You had Corey Wilson also on that same show.
Yeah,
I think you're right. You're right. Absolutely. But this is
right.
Greg White. Greg White, what you been up to, man? What's been going on with you?
Nothing. I've been going. Personal life, work life, and band life, and stop playing with Shane Dawson about I haven't counted 5 or 6 months ago, and kind of immediately fell into a couple other things, which was cool. It's always good to keep things going, You know, if you get let go of from a band, it always helps to move on to something else.
Now,
you know, Greg, I'd like to, you know, I don't know. Sometimes it's a sore spot, but you mentioned you was playing with Shane Dawson. Was that did that split good, or is it just something that just didn't mix with you guys, or what happened with that deal?
Well, I'll just be honest and humble in my answers. The band kind of started outgrowing me, really, musically or whatnot. I was hanging on for dear life. I used to always joke around with Regan, the bass player. I mean, I'd be on stage at a show, and I'd say, I'm not going anywhere, man. It's like, he's going to have to fire me. I ain't quitting this. I mean, I'd say that while we're up on stage, and we'd laugh and this and that. But I meant it. I meant it. You know what I mean? I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
You don't get in a top-notch band, especially one with a little bit of possibility of going to the next level kind of thing, and you don't quit. You know, Greg knows how hard it is to find that chemistry and to get to a certain point in a band. You know, it's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. And I don't really know what's going on in that camp or whatnot, but no, I have nothing but love for Shane and everybody else in the band. You know, I mean, I've gone out and I've seen Shane and Chuck play acoustic. And at the state fair, actually, funny story, at the state fair this year, it was probably about a month after I stopped playing with Shane. I was playing with this, I played with Three Chords and the Truth also, acoustic duo. And we got a phone call and got off at the state fair.
That's CJ Cumberland, right, Greg? CJ
Well,
Cumberland?
no, he's the one that he kind of took off, went out of town or whatnot, and I filled in for him. And still playing with John Wright, the other guy. But it was kind of funny because KT Mac was supposed to play before us at the state fair from 4 to 8 p.m. And she was ill, and they had to get a replacement. And they had the Shane Dawson band come back from Saturday night to Sunday also, last day of the fair, and go ahead and fill her spot. And so I'm showing up at the state fair a little bit before 8 o'clock before I go on, and there's all my old bandmates, and we're smiling and waving. And I walk over to Regan, the bass player, off the side of the stage, and I told you we talked while we were on the stage. So I walked off the side of the stage, and I said, you know what, buddy? I thought it was going to take a lot more than 4 months for you guys to be opening up for me, but I sure appreciate it. and so they rocked it out and played their set, and then I got up there and played mine. And when Shane had everything loaded up, he leaned into the tent and waved at me and said, "See ya." And I mean, you know, you can get into Greg. I don't know if Greg's experience, if he's been around doing this as long, you know, as I have, which I know he has. I guess he probably has experienced both sides of the coin. I mean, I've only gotten let go from like 2 bands in 30 years, so this is the second one. And the other one was way more justified, I would say. But I've also been on the other side too, and I've had to let people go, you know.
Yeah, that sucks, and I didn't want to bring up anything uncomfortable, and I didn't realize, you know, that how that went, but I knew that the band went through a lot of changes, and I didn't know if it was.
I just didn't understand all of them. It's kind of like me. I actually understood me. I was like, okay, you got a kick-ass lead guitar player, you got the most solid rhythm section. I mean, I know Greg's heard of 99 miles per hour. I mean, Shane has 99 miles per hour rhythm section, Regan and Jack. So it's like you got that rhythm section, kick-ass lead guitarist. I knew I was low man on that totem pole, and I kind of understood that. But man, about a month or month and a half later, I was watching videos and I noticed Josie wasn't on there. And anyway, that's what I noticed more than anything when I see new videos. I'm like, I miss Josie singing with Shane, you know. But I mean, Shane's a smart guy, and he's got other stuff going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about, probably not even people in the band. And he knows what he's doing, and if he doesn't know what he's doing, at least he's owning it, and he's taking his chance, you know. That's what he said to me. He goes, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, and that's what Shane said to me when we were having lunch, when he was letting me go, He just looked at me and he goes, Greg, man, he goes, this is all I got. He goes, this is my chance. And I said, I understand, man. And another thing about that, when I joined him 3 years ago, I would constantly say to him, man, all I want you to do is succeed. I said, I want to help you go to where I think you deserve to go. And I'd love to be around for as long as I can for that experience. And, if you're going to say something like that to somebody, as a man, I can't very well, get all grumpy at the other end and go, wait a second, I looked back on that and thought, wait, I said that to him, and I still mean that. So if it's my time to step aside, I'll step aside,
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's big of you. I know I played with Reagan years ago, and I really enjoyed playing with him back in the day. We've gone through quite a bit of tequila together.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So you mentioned a day gig. Do you? So obviously you got a day job as well, like myself and everybody else probably out there.
Yeah, I'm a real estate broker in the state of Kentucky, but I don't really use that as much as far as working with clients and doing all. People interfere with my life, so I flip houses, I buy them and sell them, and try to make enough money to play music. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, I've always had that interest too, man. So what kind of projects you got going on now? You mentioned some names, and tell us about that.
Well, I'm playing with John Wright, and we're known as Three Chords and the Truth, and we play acoustic duo. It's a little bit of a switch on that because he plays his acoustic, and I actually plug my electric up to a little amp and mic it up and stuff, and so we do that, and played out quite a bit here this summer, but also joined up with a band at the very beginning stages, playing with Josh Bogart as the lead singer. So the name of the band is The Dirty South. So we're Josh Bogart and The Dirty South. I kind of really, as soon as I found out they were using a band name, I said, I love that. And I pushed for it. It said, because I just came, out of a relationship of 3 years with Shane, to which all I was doing was going around town and talking about Shane Dawson. I played with Shane Dawson and, promoting him and talking up the band. But then all of a sudden I'm gone and I'm like, wait, I don't have shit. It's like other than the little bit of notoriety I have from playing with Shane, but I don't want to walk around going, hey, I used to play with the Shane Dawson band. I mean, I'll do that here and there, and it's got me in the door some places with my band. But, don't like to do that.
I find myself when I'm in between bands sometimes it's a good reprieve to kind of get away and reevaluate and, just kind of maybe explore other avenues of your talents and stuff. That's
I know I didn't do that.
Yeah. But it's all good.
I had thought about it, thinking, wait a second. And from experience, and you know this, when you have something that really clicks, chemistry, and you're at the top of the game, you ain't going to be there with whatever you move over to. It's like it's not going to happen. Unless you're really lucky or really talented. But more than likely, you're going to be taking a step down. So I knew that, and but yeah, it's a whole new experience, and I'm liking it a little bit because it's making me have those feelings as I did when I was young. Being excited about learning songs and having band rehearsals and all that, so there's some excitement to it. But now you played with Dave Turner, right?
Yeah, I was actually seeing Dave tonight, man. We got together for a little while tonight. Absolutely.
Well, Dave was my singer in Sugar Buzz for probably 4 years, maybe 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and Dave know each other very, very well. Very good friends.
Yeah.
Very good friends.
See, I didn't realize that. See, I was going to ask you the other things that you had done, and yeah, Dave's a good dude, man. He's a great singer. Really, really good guy to be in a band with. And I don't know if you know this or not, but he quit smoking, man. He quit smoking. Gosh, he told me tonight how long it's been. it's probably been a good 5 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, he's not tearing y'all's heads off.
He's holding it together, man. He's doing good, and it's helped his voice. He's singing. I can't tell. I'm back behind the drums, but I don't pay attention a whole lot. You don't hear everything is back behind the drums as well as you would when you're up there playing the guitar and singing. But his singing has gotten better, which he was already a great singer anyway. So
he really is.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dave a whole lot, man. It's fun. You if you're not doing anything Saturday night, you should come out. We're gonna be out Two Lanes playing.
Yeah, I just heard that in the last segment, and that's when I heard you say Spare Change Millionaires, I was like, well, hell, I'm gonna have to tell him I used to play with Dave.
Yeah.
Why don't you just come out, Greg White?
Why don't I?
Why don't you?
I've never really been like that. It's not that I don't support other musicians or whatever, but some people get into bands. This is just my personal feeling. I think a lot of people get into bands and they're in bands for the whole social aspect of it. And if they happen to be good enough musicians to where they do end up being in the, top tier A bands, even A and B bands and whatnot, there is a lot of social aspects for there to be had. I mean, going and watching the musicians, get up, sitting in with them, partying with them, and all that stuff. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've just never been that way.
I know exactly what you mean, bro. I know exactly what you mean.
To be on the stage and to perform, and for that to that's what I do, and it isn't for any of the perks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's kind of the way I am too, brother. If I'm not playing, it's hard to get me to go out to a bar to watch the band. And it's not because you
don't like me.
I don't like Kevin at all, and I don't like being out with him. No.
One night a week on a podcast is enough, right, Greg?
No, man. I used to say if I'm not out making money, I don't want to go out there and spend it. But
nice.
I'm a family guy. I stay at home with my family and stuff, and I just every once in a while I'll go out and do that thing. But usually, I'm either, and when I do go out and I'm watching bands, I'm kind of like, you get that itch. You kind of want to get up there and play, and that's not, that's not your gig. So I'd rather just, hang out the house and chill out, man.
Well, it's like tomorrow night. Y'all were talking about it earlier. Tomorrow night, the Brett Michaels show. Shane Dawson Band's playing that along with Chase Skinner. They're opening up the show, and I'd love to go to it. I liked Poison. I said it. There, I said it. Talk dirty to me all
You're a better man than me there, buddy.
I hear you. But I mean, I've never seen Brett play by himself when he was at the Phoenix Hill Tavern and all the other little places he's been in the last 10 or 15 years. But the only reason I would go would be the fact that Shane and them are opening up. But I'm like, $30 and Thursday night, and I got to do this on Friday, and we're old. Let's just say it. We're old.
Yep, we're getting old, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the truth is, right now, the real world exists for most of us on Friday morning. So the weeknights are a little tough. I mean, to keep Greg on a podcast after 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night, that's a tough for me. I mean, I'm
bedtime, Greg.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, if it wasn't for the shots that I had earlier, I'd probably be really close to being down for the count. But I'm doing okay right now.
Wait a minute. So alcohol energizes you, Greg?
It kind of gave me a little pep tonight. It did.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I guess there's no FCC rules about that on podcasts.
No, there's not.
I remember back in the '90s, I was playing at Phoenix Hill, and one of the DJs told me he told the singer, he said, "Hey, you should come in the morning show. I go on at 6 a.m. and you should come in and we'll interview you and stuff." So the singer told me, "Greg, they said we could go to the studio, man." And we just got through playing Phoenix Hill, and I was like, you mean going at 6 a.m.? So we stayed up all night. We were drinking, and I fixed a big fat, big gulp drink, mixer. Went into the studio, and we're doing this interview with this guy, at Clear Channel or wherever. We're talking with him, and we're basically acting like we're the morning show, And we're talking, and I made some kind of comment, and he looked over at me and muted the mic and said, "Is there alcohol in that drink?" I said, "Well, fuck yeah, there's alcohol in that drink." He goes, "You can't do that. You can't be in the studio drinking." And I was like, "Oh, whatever."
So, dude, I've been up all night, man.
Yeah, it's like I just saw you 4 hours ago at Phoenix Hill.
Yeah.
Want me to
What do
stop?
you expect?
Sweet. Now,
That's
Greg
rock and
White.
roll right
Yeah, that is rock and roll. What's in the near future for you and the Dirty South?
In the Dirty South, well, Josh Bogart and the Dirty South, we're getting things together. Like I said, I've been with them about 6 months, and when I went and rehearsed with them, they I got a phone call from the lead guitarist, and he's like, "Man, I think we might need you if you're available." And I was like, "Well, I told you when I was done with Shane." And me and him were talking about that while I was still with Shane. I knew I was about gone, And I said, "Well, let me see how long this lasts. As soon as it's over, I'll play with you." So he called me up, asked me to come out there, and we practiced, and there was 3 guitarists. It was, and I was like, "Okay, Leonard Skinner, we could maybe do something with this as long as we do it flavorfully."
Our army.
If you have 3 guitarists and you're all playing different parts, it could work, But it was just a mess. So,
it's just a mess. I like the way you said that.
So one of the guys dropped out a couple months ago, and now we're a normal 5-piece band, and
Normal.
things have come together really good. But I mean, we're kind of playing some country shows to begin with and getting our feet wet. I'm all for coming out with your best foot forward when you come out into places in Louisville, and we're playing let's see, October 15th we're at the nightclub in Frankfort. Then October 29th we're in Eminence, Kentucky at the Saloon, and that's kind of their Halloween gig. So I don't know. We played there one time before, and they immediately asked what we were doing on October 29th. So we booked back in there and playing a Halloween gig, and then we're kind of breaking into Louisville starting in November. November 12th we'll be at New Directions, and November 19th at PBR. And we've actually played PBR already. Josh is friends with Dustin Collins and Katie Mac and all that, and we already played a show there for Dustin Collins' CD release show for his new CD, and we opened up the show, and then Katie Mac played with her band after us, and then Dustin. So I mean, like I said, coming from a band like the Shane Dawson Band and all the shows we've played, it's kind of encouraging to almost immediately step into a band where we're playing those kind of venues, So I feel encouraged.
Cool.
Yeah, I was with Katie Mac. I was with her tonight. She was part of a benefit that was going on at the county line.
You were there?
I was there, and yeah, good stuff. Cool. She's great, good girl. So
yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Greg,
I got one more thing that I have in my brain. Just want to share with you.
Purge it out. Go on and purge it out.
Well, I got to purge it out because y'all were talking about Grindr, and
what the fuck? Oh, hey, good Lord.
Hey, I'm going somewhere with it. Y'all were talking about Grindr.
All right.
And I had in my head, I went, I think there's a Judas Priest song called Grindr. Now, of course, Judas Priest as the band.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So, that there's a band that has a singer who
Rob
rocked
Halford.
It out in the 80s. Rocked it out. He got up there and owned it. He's in his leather. He's in his motorcycle outfit.
Yeah.
He's got a motorcycle. And everybody's like, yeah. And then he comes out of the closet about 10 years later, and everybody's going back, looking at his outfit, going, holy shit.
Yeah.
The writing was there. You know what? Yeah, you got it then.
He's out of the closet. Yeah, he's out of the closet now.
So be honest, both you Gregs, back in the day when you were looking at Rob Halford and thinking, man, his outfits, everything he was wearing is so cool. He's so hip.
Yeah.
The fact that he was in the closet along, is that like you two validating his, closetness?
I am. Hey, I'll tell you what. If I was gonna, go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. I was just gonna say I'll answer this for me and Greg. I know what both of us were thinking whenever we saw Rob Halford sing for Judas Priest, and that was, God damn. I mean, hey, I'm not homophobic or anything, and so it didn't change the fact when I found out about that. It didn't change the fact that I was like, fucker's got some pipe. He can sing.
He does. He does. Yeah. Alfred was that voice, man, killer.
But what you're talking about, I just want to let you know, I thought there was a song called Grinder by Judas Priest, so I Googled it, and let's see the first verse. Okay, I just got a text that said, okay, I didn't know we were on here live. I just got a text and my friend said, closetness, ? Laughing my ass.
We are live. We are always live on our shows.
Okay. So here's the first, the Grinder by Judas Priest.
All right, give it to us.
Never straighten an arrow. I won't keep in time. Tend to burn the arrow out of the line. Been inclined to wander off the beaten track. There's where there's thunder, and the wind shouts back. What wind is he talking about? A fart?
Class. This is classic.
Says that's where there's thunder, and the wind shouts back. Grinder, looking for meat. Grinder, what's you to eat?
That's it.
Wow. He was telling his story back then. He was telling his story back then. You guys just didn't listen.
I never listened to the lyrics. I honestly didn't. I listened to
I never did either.
I listened to the guitars, So.
Right, exactly. All right. Greg White, share with us your social media, how people can connect with you and the band.
Of course, Facebook. Honestly, we haven't jumped into the Instagram and what's the other one? Instagram and
Twitter.
Help me out. Twitter,
Grindr, Twitter.
Now Instagrams are they're both real things, but Instagram's for real. It's just a lot younger than our generation. My kids, my 15-year-olds, they do Instagram. They don't do Facebook, but they do Instagram. They do Snapchat.
My kids are off Facebook anymore. Yeah, you're right.
But Twitter, to me, here's the deal with Twitter. We live in Kentucky, right? I've always been told that we were like 8 to 10 years behind the times.
No, not anymore.
Well, not as much. It's not as much anymore because of internet.
The internet, right?
But back in the day, you didn't know exactly what was going on at the time. You couldn't jump right on it. So somebody would have a style, or somebody would be doing something that was cool in L.A. or New York, and it would freaking take 4 or 5 years for it to pick up, in the
Greg
country,
White,
if you will.
See, you're offending me, Greg. Evidently, you don't listen to my fucking podcast, because if you listen to my fucking podcast, you would have already jumped on it, because we are hip today. We are all about today. So just saying.
I'm talking about you. Kevin,
that's just tune in. Tune in. You can be on the same page.
Sensitive. So fucking sensitive.
Hey, Greg White, make it a point. Saturday night, Tulane, come out, hang out with me. I'll be there watching Greg and the Spare Change Millionaires. Let's have some drinks and get silly. Hang out.
Now that's that place.
Try
that
if
place
you can.
on Bardstown Road between the Gene Snyder and Mount Washington, right?
There you go, right next to the barbecue place.
Right next to the barbecue, right?
I feel bad that I haven't gone to see the Big Rock show play there because John Huffman's my buddy. But I might make it out there Saturday night.
All right. Well, that's where we'll be.
Right,
so come on and entertain. Greg White, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Much love, brother.
All right, buddy. All right, man.
Thanks,
Take
bud.
care.
Later, guys.
Yeah. We're wrapping up. I know, Greg, you wanted to get out of here sooner than later, but I got to bring on one more guest. Greg, I know you could. Greg, you will stay on a little longer for this guest. Greg Unthank.
Oh, sure.
Guest.
Sure will.
Blonde bombshell speaketh.
Hi.
Blonde.
Hello. Actually, tonight
Tiffany.
I'm gonna use the phrase meow. I'm feeling like a kitty cat tonight.
Have you seen her
Meow.
Facebook? Have you seen her Facebook page, Greg?
I did.
Did you
Looked
see?
like she had
Did you
dark
see those?
hair.
Well, did you see the pictures of her with her the kitty
cat.
My
cat?
kitty cat.
Yeah,
My
cat.
kitty cat pictures.
Yeah,
Meow. You did?
Yeah.
I did. Absolutely.
Aw.
Yeah. We are
Yeah.
truly gracious, Greg, to have the stunning Tiffany Mac part of our team. Friday nights, it's if I'm not going to be doing anybody else on a Friday night, I'd rather be doing it with her. So there you go. She keeps
Yeah.
in so many ways she keeps me out of trouble on Friday nights by
I do.
You know,
I do. And
do.
I scold you when you're bad.
you do
You should.
she keeps my ego in check, and I'm very grateful for that.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
Stephanie, share with us real quick. We have a very, very good show coming up Friday night. Share with us.
God, I hope so. Well, our guest is going to be super awesome. Amazing.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
Richard Dolan, who is one of the world's most prominent UFO researchers, and he is a preeminent historian of the subject. And he's written a few volumes of histories for ufology, and they're pretty much like the Bible of UFO studies. And
Right.
He's going to be discussing a little bit about the politics and the history and the way that it actually comes across when we talk about ufology, like really get into the meaning of it. And we're going to talk about some of the most popular theories and actually, we don't really know where we're going with this. It could be, a 2-hour show, whereas,
Right.
most of our shows are about 2 hours, but we're trying to get a little bit deeper into the history and the meaning of ufology rather than specific incidents. So, most of the time we talk about stories where this is going to be a little bit broader based and talk about the politics of it and everything like that. So it could be a very entertaining show. And most people have actually seen Richard on Ancient Aliens and, even Hang On and things like this. There's been lots of different shows, coast to coast.
Right.
I mean, he's been on a ton of different shows. So he's super popular in the field of ufology and very, 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 very knowledgeable.
Greg,
so,
when it comes to our Friday night show, Greg, this is what Tiffany and I would consider a home run type show.
Well,
this is a marquee guest.
Yeah, I was wanting to say, man, since I've been doing your shows and listening to the other shows, I don't know much about the UFO thing, but I will admit that since I've been doing these shows and knowing you guys and listening, I've really it sparked something an interest in me, and I check out Tiffany's posts. And I always check. She puts up some really interesting things.
There's a lot of really good reports and articles and
really cool.
Stories.
Yeah.
Some of it is just so fantastic and amazing that you can't even believe it. Unbelievable. It's.
But what I wanted to say though, but with this,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, with this with this guest here, for someone like me, with him telling the history and the politics and things like that, that's really good for someone like me, because that'd give me a little bit.
That's a good point.
On,
That's a good point,
yeah,
Greg.
I guess you could call me like a beginner. I'll be like a beginner, but it's a good place to start.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
this is one on Friday. Ancient Aliens is on History Channel. If you watch just watch any of those episodes, you will see Richard Dolan being one of the speakers of that show.
Right.
Yeah, this guy is. I'm a huge ufology fan. Tiffany knows what this show means to me. This is, to me, a marquee show, and this is one that I'll be bringing my A game. It'll be a fun show. Our personalities will still be our personalities.
It'll be fun.
And it will be,
he's a great character. He's a great. He's a team player, and we're lucky to call him a friend. And that's what's sort of cool about this show is that he doesn't go on other people's shows often, so this is really sort of special for us. And
very
yeah, so it's going to be a great time, and hopefully we'll get some inside scoop on what's coming in our political future with ufology, because
that's a good point.
We have Hillary Clinton on one hand, who a lot of people are saying she's going to bring full disclosure about the UFOs and alien existence, and then again there's Trump, who really probably doesn't give a shit about UFOs and stuff, but Hillary Clinton has come forward and said she would be willing to discuss it and bring it forward. So it may be a very political show, but in this day and time, that's what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Kevin, bring it.
Tonight, the KT Unearthly edition of Shooting from the Lip, it will be this Friday night, 10 p.m., 9 Eastern. The guest, Rich Dolan. Tonight, Brad Canaday, Greg White came on, shared some good local stories. So good show tonight, Greg. And
congratulations on Friday night, guys, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
This is our Rolling Stone night, if you know what that means.
Yeah, it's a good good point. Yeah, it's a main event kind of night. So
Yep.
Cool.
All right, guys, we're down to a few seconds. Again, Greg, thanks for hanging out, doing the Shooting Stars thing. Tiffany, thanks as always for hanging. For Kevin Hale, for the guys, Shooting from the Lip. We bid everyone a good night and a pleasant Thursday. Shout out, Phil. See ya.
At no time were any animals or people hurt during this presentation of Shooting from the Lip.